Welcome, curious minds. In the rapidly evolving world of blockchain, we often hear about the big hurdles. How do you make a network truly sustainable, balance ease of use with massive scale, and build an economic model that just works long term?
It's a persistent challenge, definitely. Many promising networks, well, they struggle to find that elusive sweet spot.
Right.
They often hit economic headwinds or create technical complexities that maybe deter new builders and slow down real-world adoption.
Absolutely. Well, today we're diving deep into a fascinating model that aims to fundamentally sort of re-architect that approach.
Okay.
We're talking about the metal blockchain and its unique economic framework. Our mission is to dissect how it's designed to, reward builders, scale seamlessly with usage, and create a truly sustainable ecosystem.
And we'll look at those claims too, right? Made in USA and the digital banking network.
Exactly. We need to unpack those.
So we'll pull back the curtain on its 4 core components, how they interlock, and what this could signal for the future of digital banking and large-scale enterprise adoption.
So when we talk about redefining the approach, what's the fundamental problem metal blockchain is really setting out to tackle? Like, if you're a builder, a fintech startup maybe?
Or even an established bank, yeah.
Right, trying to launch something new on a blockchain. What are those immediate headaches you run into?
That's a great way to frame it.
Yeah.
I mean, the core issue for builders and businesses has consistently been economic sustainability. It's just incredibly difficult to find a network that truly balances usability with scalability.
Without breaking the bank up front.
Exactly, without requiring prohibitive upfront investment. And critically, very few have managed to create a genuinely deflationary alignment between, users and token holders.
Which seems crucial for long-term health.
It really is. Vital for long-term health and value accrual.
Right. It feels like many existing models inherently push against that long-term viability. So Metal Blockchain steps in with a different philosophy. Their claim is a model that directly rewards builders, scales naturally with usage, and this is the kicker, burns all fees.
Yeah, that last part is quite something. What's truly intriguing here is that the overarching goal isn't just about facilitating transactions.
It's bigger than that.
It seems so. They're trying to engineer a sustainable economic flywheel, designing an entire system where every interaction, every new application actually contributes to a virtuous cycle for long-term growth and stability.
Okay, so it's baked into the design from the start.
That appears to be the idea.
And one of the first ways they try to kickstart this flywheel, this cycle, is by dramatically lowering the barrier to entry for builders.
Yeah, making it easier to get started.
So instead of navigating complex requirements, you can launch your own custom blockchain, what they call a subnet on Metal, simply and cost-effectively.
Exactly. There's no requirement for large staking commitments or a significant lockup of the native Metal token.
Okay.
Nor are there complex validator prerequisites. And what's even more compelling, maybe, is that these subnets operate independently.
Independently how?
Well, they aren't directly tied to a parent chain's performance or congestion.
So if the main network gets busy, your subnet doesn't necessarily slow down.
That's the design goal.
Yeah.
It offers a degree of isolation.
That sounds incredibly attractive for developers, fintechs, enterprises. It clears a significant amount of friction from just getting going, right?
It certainly seems to.
But, okay, when you remove traditional barriers like large staking, does that introduce any potential risks? Like maybe to network security or long-term commitment from validators compared to models where people have more skin in the game up front?
That's a valid point, a really important consideration. While it does lower the friction for onboarding, the model relies on the next piece we'll talk about.
Okay.
The infrastructure rent model, combined with that fee-burning mechanism, is designed to incentivize consistent, valuable participation. Validators get paid for their service through that rent.
Right.
And the burning of fees, ideally, creates value that encourages long-term alignment. So it shifts the incentive from just a static stake to more active contribution and network growth.
Interesting. So it's a different kind of incentive structure. Okay, making it easy to get in the door is step one. But what happens once your subnet is live doing things?
Right, processing transactions.
That naturally brings us to their second key component, this usage-based infrastructure rent. What's that about?
Precisely. It's essentially a pay-as-you-go streaming fee model.
Pay as you go.
Paid in the Metal token directly to the validators running the infrastructure for your subnet.
And how are the fees calculated?
They're determined by the number of validator slots your subnet uses and for how long it uses them. So it functions much like a monthly operational expense, like renting server space.
Okay. So for businesses, this isn't just a new way to pay. It fundamentally changes how they budget for blockchain infrastructure.
Exactly.
It turns what could be a hefty upfront capital expense, CapEx, into a predictable operational cost, OpEx, that scales directly with their usage. That kind of financial flexibility and stability must be a massive advantage for any application aiming for real-world adoption, isn't it?
It truly is. I mean, it allows businesses to focus on their core product, their growth, rather than being burdened by high static infrastructure costs. It makes it much more feasible for, real-world apps seeking flexibility and predictable financial planning.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, this pay-as-you-go model is compelling enough, but you mentioned the really distinctive element, the part that ties directly to their long-term value proposition.
Yes.
Is what happens to those fees once they're collected. Tell us, what happens to all that metal paid as rent?
This is where I think it gets quite revolutionary for their tokenomics. Every single infrastructure fee paid in metal.
Every single one.
That's the claim. Whether it's from securing the P-chain, that's Metal blockchain's primary platform chain handling, staking, and subnet validation, or any shared infrastructure, it is permanently burned.
Burned. As in destroyed, removed from circulation.
Correct. There's no recycling, no redistribution back into the ecosystem like you see in some other models. It's removed from circulation forever.
Wow. Okay, so what are the implications of that for the metal token itself and, for people holding it? It sounds quite profound, especially in a crypto space often grappling with inflation.
It's designed specifically to create powerful deflationary pressure. Think about it. As network usage increases, meaning more subnets launch, more transactions happen, more validator slots are utilized.
More fees are paid.
Exactly. And if all those fees are burned, the total supply of the metal token actively decreases over time.
Which basic economics suggests.
Scarcity. Assuming consistent or growing demand, this scarcity drives a higher price potential for the token. This directly rewards long-term holders and provides a strong, ongoing incentive for network security and participation.
Okay, so the burning isn't just a gimmick, it's fundamental to the economic engine.
That seems to be the core thesis.
And this systematic burning of fees leads directly into what they call the economic flywheel, this powerful, self-reinforcing feedback loop. Can you walk us through how that cycle works in practice?
Sure. Think of it as continuous growth engine, like you said.
Yeah.
More subnets building and deploying on the network.
Driving usage.
Right. And more validators securing it. That means more metal is paid in those infrastructure rent fees.
Okay, step one.
And because every single one of those fees is burned, step 2 is the total supply of metal steadily diminishes.
Supply goes down.
Step 3, a shrinking supply, combined with growing utility and demand from all those active subnets, naturally creates upward pressure on the token's value.
Makes sense. Value potentially goes up.
And then step 4, that increased potential value, in turn, creates an even stronger incentive for new projects to build on the network and for more validators to come online and secure it, which starts the cycle all over again.
Got it. So it feeds back into itself. More usage, more burning, less supply, potential value increase, more incentive to use and secure, more usage.
Exactly. It really does aim to create a powerful alignment. Their core message is pretty clear on this. Subnets drive adoption. Burns drive value. This tokenomics model is purpose-built for scale, they argue, and aims to align both business goals like predictable costs and long-term token sustainability in a way we, don't often see.
It's definitely a different take.
It's a design choice that fundamentally rethinks how a blockchain economy can potentially grow and sustain itself.
Now, looking at the broader implications, Metal blockchain is positioning itself not just as another layer 1, but explicitly as an economic engine for builders, right?
That's their framing.
With a really clear vision for its target market. And you mentioned earlier those claims, made in the USA and the digital banking network. How does that specific branding and, I guess, operational focus differentiate Metal blockchain from other enterprise-focused chains, especially when you think about regulations or trust factors for big financial institutions?
Yeah, that strategic positioning is absolutely key. Their explicit goal is, quite ambitious. Every bank will have a subnet, a stablecoin.
Wow, okay. That's a bold goal.
It is. And to enable this, they've developed something called the PulseVM. Yes, a virtual machine specifically engineered for banking use cases. They talk about lightning-fast smart contracts. But it's likely not just about raw speed. It's probably also about things like deterministic finality. and the kind of reliable throughput that financial institutions absolutely demand.
Things that are non-negotiable in finance.
Exactly. And that made in the USA aspect, that directly addresses the regulatory and jurisdictional concerns that are paramount for banks and financial enterprises operating particularly in the U.S. market.
So it provides a level of maybe comfort or legal clarity.
That seems to be the intention. It aims to provide a level of trust and legal clarity that's often a significant hurdle for blockchain adoption in these highly regulated industries.
So it's not just a technological choice, the VM and all that, but a very deliberate strategic one, designed for what they call the next wave of adoption, specifically tailoring custom blockchains for financial institutions by trying to address both their technical and their regulatory comfort levels.
Precisely. It's a very focused approach.
So to wrap up then, we've seen how Metal Blockchain aims to make it easier to build with these subnets, more predictable to scale with the rent model, and designed for potential value growth as the network expands, all through this, well, intriguing and very specific economic model centered around burning fees.
It really does challenge us to consider how foundational economic incentives can shape an entire ecosystem. When you remove some of those traditional upfront barriers and strategically align growth with deflationary pressure, it unlocks some genuinely fascinating possibilities, not just for metal, but potentially for the broader industry to think about.
Indeed. So what does this all mean for you listening in? Maybe consider this. How might this infrastructure rent and aggressive fee-burning model, especially with its laser focus on regulated financial institutions, influence how the broader blockchain industry tackles economic sustainability?
That's a great question.
And if this model does gain traction, particularly within digital banking, what new financial instruments or services, maybe things we can't even properly imagine yet, could emerge from a platform built with these specific economic principles right at its core?
Lots to think about there.
Definitely something to ponder until our next deep dive.